Alright guys, welcome back. We are going to do 1 plus I in parentheses cubed. So if you want to work it out on your own, go ahead and pause now if you don't want to know the answer. If you want to know the answer, I'll put that up now. Okay, it's going to be negative 2 plus 2I. Now, if you want to kind of reverse engineer that and work it out and see if you get to that same solution, then you would want to pause now. Okay, so the first thing we're going to look at is the fact that we have 1 plus imaginary I in parentheses. That lets us know that anything in parentheses or in brackets is being treated as like a single value, right? So that cubed, that power of 3 exponent, is being applied to everything in the parentheses, right? So let's treat it as a single value. In other words, if I had, let's just say, 4 cubed, you would know, okay, that's just 4 times 4 times 4, right? You wouldn't think that would be easy for you to conceptualize, right? Done that 100 times, 1,000 times, 1,000,000 times, right? So the same is true here. It's 1 plus imaginary I times 1 plus imaginary I times 1 plus imaginary I. So when we look at it like this, all of a sudden things start to look a little bit simpler, right? And the other thing that we know is that multiplication is commutative, meaning we can multiply in any order, right? If we have A times B times C, we can do that as C times B times A, or C times A times B, so on and so forth, right? We have these permutations that we can do, right? So stay with me here. So right away, let's just say we want to multiply these two together first, all right? No problem. Simply FOIL, right? So we have 1 times 1. FOIL, for those that don't remember, FOIL is first, outside, inside, last. So we take the first value right here in this parentheses and the first value in this parentheses, and we multiply them together, right? And that is first, right? 1 times 1 is 1, right? Now we're going to do outside against outside. Okay, so this 1 is on the outside of the parentheses, and this I is on the outside of the parentheses per these two parts that we're multiplying, right? So you see how that's on the outside and that's on the outside? Okay, so I have 1 times I, and it's 1 times positive I, so that's just going to be I. Let's go back to our purple color here. So plus I. Right? Because 1 times I is just I. So we've done outside to outside right here, right? We've done first multiplied by first. Now we have inside against inside right here, right? So we go inside against inside. So we have positive I times 1. That's just going to be I, isn't it? Right? So now we need last multiplied by last. Right? So now we have the last one moving from left to right in this set of parentheses, right? I multiplied against the last one moving from left to right in this set of parentheses here, right? I. So I times I is I squared, right? Okay. All right, so using very, very basic algebra, we can see how we got 1 plus I in parentheses times 1 plus I in parentheses to equal 1 plus I plus I plus I squared, right? Now we have to multiply that against 1 plus I, right? And then we will have multiplied it against itself 3 times, right? We will have taken it out to the cube, okay? Now before we do that, can we combine any like terms in this sort of polynomial right here? Can we do that? We have I plus I, don't we? So I plus I is the same as 2I, okay? And then we bring down this positive I squared, right? And we can bring down this integer, this plus 1 plus, right? So we have 1 plus 2I plus I squared. And we're going to bring this down too, of course. So we have times 1 plus I. Now I'm going to clean up the board real quick and rewrite everything you see in that bracket right there up in this area, okay? Alright, so we can see how 1 plus I in parentheses taken to the cube is in equivalency to 1 plus 2I plus I squared parentheses 1 plus I close parentheses, right? So we can see how that's an equivalency because we just went through those steps. What we also know is that we have to multiply everything on this in this bit right here against everything in parentheses here, don't we? Right? So we can go ahead and carry that out. Let's go ahead and do that. So we have 1 times 1 here, okay? And that's going to give us 1, right? We have 1 times I here, right? And that's going to give us a positive I, because it's going to be positive 1I. 1 would be the coefficient to the I, right? But it's the multiplicative identity, so we don't need to write it, so we just write positive I, right? Okay, let's erase this. Okay. Alright, so now we have to, let's switch colors here. We will go like a yellowish color. Now we have to go 2 multiplied against everything in this parentheses. So we have 2I, excuse me, not 2, but 2I times 1 is going to be simply 2I, right? Because again, 1 is a multiplicative identity. Now 2 multiplied against I here, or excuse me, 2I multiplied against I, is going to be 2I squared. Now do we see why that's becoming 2I squared? We're multiplying an I by I, so that's I times I, that's I squared, right? Okay, now we have this last bit here, which we will do in, we'll do like a baby blue. So we have I squared multiplied by 1, again, multiplicative identity, so it's just going to stay positive I squared, I squared. And we have I squared times I, and that's going to become what? Positive I cubed, right? Because we have I squared times another I cubed. Remember, if it were I plus I plus I, that would not be I cubed, that would be 3I, wouldn't it? It would be I 3 times. But this is I squared multiplied by yet another I, so therefore I cubed. Okay? Hopefully all this is making sense at this point. Switch back to our pen. Okay guys, if you just stay with me here, what we're going to do is take everything in these baby blue brackets and we're going to rewrite it down here. I'm going to use a more neutral color, one we haven't used yet. So it's all going to be in the same color. We're going to have 1 plus I plus 2I, right? Plus 2I squared, right? Plus I squared plus I cubed, right? Does that look right? There's our 1 plus I plus 2I plus 2I squared plus I squared plus I cubed. Yep, looks good. So now we're looking for like terms that we can combine, okay? So here we see our like terms, I and 2I. So that's going to become 3I. We're going to bring this 1 plus down, 1 plus, so we have 1 plus 3I. Now we have 2I squared that can combine with I squared. So it's going to be positive 3I squared. And then we have a positive I cubed. I to the third, right? Alright, so everybody go ahead and write these notes down, get situated. I'm going to erase the board and we are going to move all this, well, I pointed at it like you can see me pointing at the screen. We're going to move all this up to the top and continue on with the solve. Alright gang, so we just moved this up here, okay? Alright, now let's look at this again. So we have I squared. So we know that I is equal to the square root of negative 1. Therefore, if we square I, that gets us back to the radicand of negative 1, right? So here we have 3 times negative 1 plus I cubed. If I squared takes us to negative 1, another I is going to be negative 1 times I, which is going to be negative I. Okay, keep up with me here. So if I squared is negative 1, if we multiply that by another I, 1 being the multiplicative identity, it will equal negative I. Okay, so this can be rewritten as negative I. Now we have, that's a positive, so we bring down 3I and 1 plus. So we have 1 plus 3I plus 3 times negative 1 plus negative I. Now we can combine terms right here. 3, a positive 3, times negative 1 is going to give us a negative 3. Okay? And then we're going to add that to negative I, which is the same as minus I, right? So we can erase that and just rewrite it as, instead of plus minus, it can just be minus I. Now we have 1 plus 3I minus 3 minus I. Okay? So let's go ahead and take like terms. So we have 3I, negative I, right? So if positive 3I minus an I, that leaves us with 2I, doesn't it? Okay? So we had 3I, took one of the i's away, we have 2I. So now we have 1 minus 3, right? So if we have 1 on the number line, 1, 2, 3, and we're at 1, and we're going in the negative direction, right? This way, 3 places, we have 0, 1, 2, so we end up at 2. So we have negative, that's negative 2, right? So we have negative 2, positive 2I. And if you rewind back to the beginning of the video, we see that our answer to 1 plus I in parentheses taken to the cube is negative 2 plus 2I. All right, cheers.